Luxury unseen. Inside Princess Leonor's lavished Denmark wedding that changed bridal fashion forever. The palace bells echoed across Copenhagen. The world expected elegance. But what unfolded was beyond expectation. A wedding so lavish, so emotionally charged, that it didn't just make history, it changed it. Inside Princess Leonor's Denmark wedding, luxury took on an entirely new meaning. This was not just a royal celebration. It was the birth of a new bridal era. For months, the anticipation had been electric. Whispers in royal circles, speculations in the press. Would Spain's future queen choose a traditional gown, or would she redefine royal fashion altogether? When the cathedral doors opened, the answer stunned millions. Princess Leonor stepped into the light, radiant, regal, and breathtakingly modern. Her gown shimmered like liquid ivory, handcrafted by Spanish artisans who spent over 9 months bringing it to life. Each stitch told a story, of heritage, of identity, of a princess stepping boldly into her destiny. But it wasn't the gown alone that captured hearts, it was the message behind it. This was not a bride hiding behind centuries of formality. This was a young woman rewriting what royalty means in the 21st century. Every detail of the wedding reflected that balance, deep tradition, yet fearless individuality. The ceremony, held at Fredensborg Palace, united Spain and Denmark in an emotional and diplomatic masterpiece. The royal families stood side by side, Spain's deep Mediterranean warmth blending seamlessly with Denmark's Nordic grace. Even the weather seemed to hold its breath, as Leonor and Christian exchanged vows written in both Spanish and Danish, a poetic symbol of unity between nations and hearts. But the deeper story unfolded behind closed doors, in the private moments the cameras almost missed. The quiet glances between Leonor and Queen Letizia. The reassuring nod from King Felipe. The way Prince Christian's eyes never left his bride, as though he was watching the embodiment of a dream he had long waited for. Observers noted how the decor fused the aesthetics of two kingdoms. Spanish gold filigree met Danish minimalism in a flawless dance of luxury and restraint. The floral arrangements featured white lilies from Madrid and wild Nordic blooms from Jutland, representing the merging of two distinct worlds into one breathtaking union. As the ceremony ended, Leonor's exit was met with silence, not because the guests weren't moved, but because words failed them. What they had witnessed transcended the expected royal spectacle. It was intimate, elegant, human. The reception, however, was where opulence truly reigned. Inside the grand halls of Amalienburg, a glittering array of chandeliers illuminated the night as guests from across Europe gathered, royals, dignitaries, and designers who would soon be rethinking what bridal fashion truly meant. Leonor's second gown, a silk off-shoulder creation inspired by Queen Sophia's wedding dress, instantly became the most talked-about design in the world. Within hours, major bridal houses began releasing sketches inspired by her style. Yet beyond the glamour, something deeper resonated. Leonor's speech at the dinner table, calm, graceful, but profoundly emotional, revealed a woman aware of the weight she carries. She thanked her parents for teaching her dignity, her people for believing in her, and her husband for understanding her duty before he loved her heart. It was a moment that drew tears even from seasoned royals. As music filled the palace halls, guests danced under soft golden light. But the true dance was symbolic, between old monarchy and new modernity, between expectation and freedom. Leonor's wedding was not about extravagance alone. It was about evolution. The world's reaction was instant and intense. Social media erupted. A new standard for elegance, one fashion critic wrote. A love story written in silk and history, said another. Global designers hailed the event as the beginning of a Leonor era in fashion, where sophistication meets simplicity and tradition embraces individuality. But behind the beauty lay quiet tensions, the kind every royal family must navigate. Spanish commentators whispered about Leonor's growing independence from palace protocol. Danish observers noted Queen Mary's proud but reflective expression as her son took on a royal partner who symbolizes a changing Europe. In those subtle glances, viewers saw the next generation of monarchy redefining itself in real time. As the festivities continued, one could feel that this wasn't merely a celebration of love, it was a statement. A declaration that royalty could be both relatable and radiant, humble yet luxurious. Leonor's wedding set a precedent that bridged the past and future, and the world couldn't look away. The following morning, photographs flooded every major publication. The gown, the jewels, the kiss. But the most iconic image wasn't of diamonds or crowns, it was of Leonor and Christian, standing hand in hand, gazing at the dawn over Denmark. A young queen and her prince, stepping into history together. Fashion houses across Paris, Milan, and Madrid began unveiling bridal collections under one new term, the Leonor line. A movement rooted in her effortless fusion of grace and modernity. It wasn't just about luxury, it was about meaning. About fashion that speaks of heritage, identity, and quiet power. Royal watchers noted how Leonor's choice of designers and details reflected her vision of monarchy, forward-thinking, globally aware, yet deeply loyal to her Spanish roots. Even her choice of tiara, the Cartier diamond loop once worn by Queen Ina, carried a whisper of family legacy and renewal. As the night faded into memory, one truth became undeniable: this wedding had altered more than headlines. It had altered perceptions. It reminded the world that true elegance doesn't need to shout, it simply exists, commanding admiration through authenticity. Princess Leonor became, overnight, the embodiment of modern royal womanhood. Strong, elegant, poised between duty and dream. And as she walked hand in hand with Prince Christian into their new chapter, the echoes of their vows lingered, not just in the grand halls of Denmark, but in the hearts of millions who saw in her story a reflection of timeless love reborn for a new age. Because sometimes, luxury isn't in the jewels or gowns. It's in the courage to be authentic, even under the weight of a crown. That is the unseen luxury. The kind that changes everything.